Hey Aries, this is Kathy. Welcome to my channel, Kathy Mamolen, Psychic Medium. Welcome to your July 2025 Psychic Love Prediction. We're going to see what is coming towards you, confirmation of any energy that may be around you. I'm going to call in my spirit guides in a minute. I do have some initials. I do have some charms, so we'll be using those as well, and lots of loving messages. So let's get started. Let's see what Spirit wants you to know in July. I can't believe it's July. I can't believe that we are in the middle of the summer. Of course, I'm in Florida, so it always feels like summer, but here we are. Spirit, please share with me loving messages for my Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is it that you have for them? What is it that you want them to know? I am listening for you now. I have intuition. Trust your intuition. This person could be attracted to your intuition. Many of us are very intuitive, and that could stand out. That, you know, they just love that you connect to people. They love that you kind of know things that nobody else knows. They love that you are intuitive about them, that you kind of know what they're thinking and feeling or sensing, and you know, you can kind of read them, so they don't have to explain everything. They don't have to, you know, tell you every little detail of what they're feeling. You have a sense of what's going on with them. So your intuition is not only guiding you, but I feel like it's part of what they're attracted to. Beautiful. I have optimism. Yeah, your intuition and optimism, you know, it's a feeling of, you know, who are you? You know, you're the bright light in the dark storm. You're the person who always sees the bright side. You're the person who always brings hope to the table. You're the person who always says it gets better. It doesn't get worse. So that is what they're falling in love with. They're falling in love with your energy. Maybe they don't say it that way. Maybe they did. Maybe they say, maybe right from the beginning, they say, I love your energy. There's something about you. I don't know if we necessarily talk that way to each other, but they could say something like, you know, you're so optimistic. You know, you're like, you always see the bright side. Glad, you know, you're filled with hope. You know, they may say it in a different way, but they definitely are acknowledging it, and they're definitely seeing it in you. I have courage. You're the strongest person I know. I'm proud of you. I'm amazed by you. You know, you could be raising children by yourself. You could have gone back to school as an adult. You could have gone through some very difficult things in your childhood that other people wouldn't have been able to get through, but you did. So there's this sense of definitely impressed. I don't know how, you know, it's always the person who's had the hardest road who somehow finds it in themselves to have the most hope and the most optimism. And I don't know how that works. Maybe it's your faith, maybe it's your spirituality. But sometimes I think when you are in such a dark place or in such a difficult place, you learn how to heal yourself. You learn how to find that inner strength to pull you out of things, so that anything that hits you from that point on, you're like, I can handle anything. If I could handle that, I can handle anything. So you are optimistic because you know you'd get through it, you know, but some people don't feel that way. Some people don't think that way, but that's obviously one of your strengths. I have a King of Pentacles. I have an Emperor. I have an Eight of Cups. And I have a Hanged Man. I feel like this person has been just kind of working through life, but it's probably putting in a lot of effort into their career. Little bit of a building my business, building my empire, being at the top of my game energy. Putting probably love and commitment on hold in their life, that it wasn't that important to them. It wasn't a top priority. They could be at an age now where they're looking around and everybody's married. People in their family are married with kids. Their friends are married with kids. And the single life that it was isn't as much fun as it used to be. So maybe they're saying, yeah, maybe now's a good time to actually put my feelers out there and settle down. But they probably didn't have, it wasn't a priority is how it's coming into me. So if this love is coming into them, it's more of a organic love. It's more of a spirit's going to put this love in front of them, whether they are ready or not. And maybe it just happens. I have a 4 of Cups. Yeah, there's a sense of, if it happens, it happens. If it's meant to be, it will be. If somebody's supposed to be in my life, they'll come into my life. So it's one of those kinds of people. It's like, I'm not chasing it. I have a 6 of Cups. Yeah, they believe in, someday I'll be with the person I'm supposed to be with. I just know it. I just know that that's how the universe works. If there's somebody out there for me, I'll find them. They'll come into my life. We'll be happy. In the meantime, I'm doing my own thing. So this person isn't hustling around looking for love. This person is probably busy on other areas of their life. I have a 6 of Swords. Earn success is the key word. So they are focusing on success. You're probably, hey, when you don't have relationships, you don't have kids, and all you focus on is on your career, you get the job done. You tend to be pretty successful because that's where you're putting all your energy. Not saying it's good or bad, but people who choose that route usually, typically are pretty successful until they turn around and go, wait a minute, there's a lot I'm missing in my life. I haven't had children yet. I'm not married. I don't own a home with somebody. I've never lived with anybody. I haven't had those experiences. So, there's 2 different paths. Some people go down the path of kind of having it all at the same time. And then other people put all of those areas of their life on hold and work on just one area. Happens a lot. I have a Queen of Cups. That came into me as until you. Almost a feeling of, are they a workaholic? Probably, because maybe they have nothing else to do. Maybe they just are putting all their energy into that because that's all they know. And now all of a sudden you're like opening up their eyes to what it feels like to be with a partner, what it feels like to do things with another person, have somebody that's your best friend to help you, it's like entertaining for them. It's not saying that they've never dated anybody before. I think they have, but I would find this person would be the person who might not have ever fallen in love before. And that this might take them by surprise. They probably have dated, cared for people, had relationships, but in love, I don't know. I think you're the first person that they're going to be in love with. I have a 2 of Wands. And I have a King of Swords. This person's already thinking of, I think you're the person I'm supposed to be with. I feel like in a very short period of time from when they're meeting. Now, they might not say it when they first meet you, but I do feel like they start to think in the back of their head that you're the type of person I could see myself with. You're the type of person I could see a future with. This is the kind of loving energy. If I were to get married and I were to settle down with somebody, this is the type of person that I would be with. I I think you're the first person they've ever thought this way before. I don't think anybody that they met in a very short period of time, they thought, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this person. So that could be blowing their mind a little bit, where they're already fantasizing about the future. And they're like, I just met this person. This is crazy. But that's how it happens. You know, it's like you can kind of forecast, you can kind of predict, you know, what it would look like. So, but I don't think they've ever done this with anybody else. I don't think it was on their radar screen. Spirit, please share with me. I have empowerment. You're pretty strong. Okay, that's good. I have courage. I'm going to say the courage is on their end, where they're taking that leap of faith for themselves, that I guess they want the full thing now. And it could be an age, you know, it could be, I'm no longer in my young 20s. I'm in my mid 30s. And I think it's a good time for me to find somebody to be with. You know, when I was 22, I didn't want to be with somebody, you know, so it could be an age thing for somebody. But I do feel like they are in control. I will say that. I do feel like they are saying it's a risk, they're saying, but it's not. Is it a risk? They're going to find the right one, but they live in a world of, I'll know it when I see it. And if there's somebody out there for me, the spirit will put us together. So they're not out there chasing it. And they're saying it doesn't matter at what age. It does. I mean, I just used that 30 as an example, you know, but they could be 50 and they never got married. They never settled down. They've never even lived with anybody, or they lived with somebody, but they never would have thought to marry that person. I have possibilities. There's possibilities in this connection. I have vitality. That came into me as more of a, there's a life to this connection, that there's a sparks, but it's alive. The two of us is bigger than one. And there's a sense of us. There's a sense of we're going to do this, our future. So there's a sense of life to this, future life, future feelings. Okay, let's get some initials. Let's see. Maybe we will get some clues. So some of you may be confirming a love today, and others of you are just manifesting with me. So I have this beautiful bowl of dice, and I'm going to get a nice big handful, and we'll see what spirit wants for you. Okay, let's see if they connect. So I have the letter X, I have a C, M, P, I have an N, a Q, an A, O, I have an H. I have the letter F. I have a T. I have an R. I have a U, and I have a J. Okay, so those could be connecting to some of you. All right. Spirit, tell me more about this connection. Is this person ready? Is this person really ready for a relationship? Are they ready to jump into a real relationship? I think with the right person. I think they've had it in their head that when the right one comes along, yes. It's more of a, it's not going to be with just anybody. It's going to be when the right one comes along. And that, I feel like that's their mantra. It's just something they tell themselves. You know, maybe people ask them, you know, like, hey, you dating anybody? And they'll say, yeah, not yet. But when the right one comes along, I'll know it. You know, it's like, I feel like it's something they say all the time. Spirit, please share with me. I have locked out, access denied. They don't let everybody into their heart. You could be the first person they fall in love with. The person, maybe they have it in their head that the person I end up with the person that I end up marrying or spending my life with or want a future with is going to be the only one that I've ever really loved. And that happens. There's some people out there that's, you know, they have feelings for people, they care about people, but for those of you that have fallen in love with somebody, there's a difference between loving somebody and being in love with somebody. And I feel like this person's going to be in love for the first time in their life. And maybe it's you. Maybe you've never felt in love. I don't know. Could be either one of you. Or it could be both of you. You could both look at each other and say, I've never been this in love. Like, this is crazy. You're both looking at each other going, I can't believe what I feel. Like, I am out of my mind right now. I am so in love with you. So it could be that we're both saying it. Gossip, drama, negativity. Yeah, this person is that they're focused on other things, Spirit's saying. They don't want high maintenance. They don't want gossip. They don't want drama, chaos. They'd rather be alone. They don't want it in their life. I have a queen. I want a queen, boss babe, independent, strong. I want somebody, and I do know that's true, that people are attracted to people that are very independent. The more independent you are, the more secure you are, the more people are attracted to you. They see you as, you can take care of yourself. You don't need to be with me because you're looking for somebody to put out your fires or to take care of you. So this person's looking for somebody who's very independent and very strong. So if you see yourself that way, then this is your match. I have affectionate, lovey-dovey, and passionate, bringing you balloons. I would say so. Maybe they've never been affectionate with anybody. Maybe they have been, but maybe they're more romantic, I should say, with this connection than they've ever been. Maybe they want to do things for you that they never would have done with anybody else. Maybe they feel like they want to send you flowers. They've never sent somebody flowers before. Maybe they feel like candlelight dinners were hokey before, but now they're kind of fun and kind of sexy. They're trying new things, Spirit's saying, but it's because I'm in love with you and I want to make you happy. So I do feel like they are, they're trying harder, Spirit's saying also. They're trying harder to be in a connection because they want it this time. Spirit, please share with me, what sign may they be? They could be a Scorpio. They could be a Libra, Gemini, Taurus, and a Leo. Okay. And Spirit, give me some clues. Anything about this person I should know today? I have technology. Okay. It almost came into me as like a startup company, somebody who started a technology company and has grown it from scratch. But it almost came into me as, they've just been so busy building this company but it could be connected to computers. It could be very science, math centered. I have management, running a company, big job, big opportunities, big money. I need a job. This felt like a fear. There's a part of me that their greatest fear in life is to be unemployed. Their greatest fear is to not have money in the bank or not have a nest egg or not have their arms around their career. So that could be a fear coming from somewhere, that their father never worked. Their father was an alcoholic. We're scraping it together. That could be a fear coming from some past wound. I have sensitive. Okay. I want to talk about my feelings. I have empathic. They said in the beginning they were attracted to your intuition and they were falling for you because of your energy. So they could realize that you're very empathic, that you know, if you have a tendency, I mean, empaths, intuitives have a tendency to be very sensitive or sensitive to everything. And they pick up on that. They pick up on, you might have a difficult time in large groups of people. They overwhelm you. You might have sensitivity to loud sounds, that you struggle with being like in a rock concert. I can't go to a rock concert. I feel like my head's going to explode. You know, there's certain things about me I know I can't do because of the energy in the room. And I just don't put myself in that situation. So they may start to see those things in you. And they say, oh, you know what? They're just really sensitive. But you should know those things about yourself to make yourself comfortable if you are very empathic. I have jewelry. I like to wear jewelry. Costume jewelry, a little bit of I like to make jewelry. Somebody could be a jewelry designer, or they have learned how to make jewelry as a hobby or a craft. But somebody who has a passion for jewelry or jewelry design, something like that. So that could be connected to this connection. I have stingy. I don't know so much as stingy as this fear of not having money. It's got to be coming from an old wound from childhood, that I grew up with nothing. And I had a deadbeat dad that never did anything. And my poor mother had to scrape it together. So there's some kind of wound around, I'm going to make sure that I'll never be that. I'll never be in that situation. And I do feel like they did it all on their own, whatever it is. I do feel like they did it from scratch. I do feel like they probably put themselves through school. I have long hair. Somebody might have long hair. Okay. An entrepreneur. I own a business. I started a startup technology company. I'm part of a collaboration of startups, you know, so this person could have been on the ground floor of something based on their age. They got in at the right time. I have dominant. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think this person's been chasing physical connections. That feels more like, I guess, playtime with, you know, let's go to an adult sex toy store, you know, and walk around and laugh, you know, something like that. I don't think it's something that we're interested in, but maybe we talk about it. I have long straight hair. So there's some dark hair, straight hair. Somebody definitely has a lot of hair. I have skinny. I work out. Could be you, could be them. I have a tendency to be stubborn, especially somebody who has been kind of doing their own thing for a while. You know, they've got their routine. They're kind of set in their ways. It's hard to change it up. So you may be fighting a battle about somebody's just routine. They like to come home from work and work out and take a shower and eat dinner and then relax. And, you know, like they've got a routine that's been working for them for a long time. I have construction. Okay. Building a house, designing. Design engineer, some kind of design engineer, electrical engineer, civil engineer, structural, trade. I invest my money in Bitcoins, stock markets, spiritual work. One of you is definitely very intuitive. One of you is definitely connected to the spirit realm, they're saying. So one of us is emotional. One of us is emotional and sensitive and maybe spiritual and intuitive. So that they're all good qualities. Spirit, tell me more. What else do you need me to know today? I have a Page of Cups. I have an Empress. I have a Six of Swords. And I have a Knight of Pentacles. You know, it's interesting because on the other side of the Six of Swords, the moving on is the Six of Swords, right? We get in the boat, we take the swords with us, which is basically all our thoughts and feelings and baggage of what we've been doing up until now. But there's always the other side. And the other side is filled with hope and optimism. And the other side is, I don't know what's ahead of me, but I'm excited about it. So they loved that about you. They loved this sense of, you know, you're going to reach something. You're going to reach something that's better than what you have today. And I think that that's something that they're really attracted to you for. Now, the Page and the Empress, for those of you that have never had a baby and you would like to have a baby still in your lifetime, depending on your age. Now, those of you that have babies, this isn't your message, okay? This is somebody who I have feelings for you, and they could be going as far as I could see you as my Empress and us having a child together. So I do feel like at least Divine Masculine thinks of those things, you know, depending on the age. Divine Feminine definitely thinks of those things, you know, if they want to have a child someday. Like, is this somebody who would want to be a father? Would they make a great father? Not only a great husband or spouse or partner, but would they make a great father if I was going to have, because whoever you decide to have a baby with, you're pretty locked in to raising that child with that person. But it crosses their mind that this is somebody, again, that I could see myself with, including a family, including having a family someday. So I'm going to say this person is, what did they say? You know, when the right one comes along, I'll know. So that's kind of the world they're living in. They're just kind of waiting for it to land in their lap. And, you know, hopefully in divine timing and everything in the perfect world. And, you know, but that they're saying, hey, if it's meant to be, that's how it's going to happen. So that's what's going to happen with this person, because this person isn't out there chasing, is how I feel. So it will be a very organic way of meeting. All right. So here is the charms. Here are the charms, I should say. And let's get a spoonful. They're gold. They're all gold. So they're pretty. Let's get a couple more. See what I'm feeling. Okay. All right. So I have a couple big. I'm going to go with these starfish together. I'm just going to put all these starfish together. I think that's. All right. I definitely feel the connection to the sea. I'm going to say, whether you live near the sea or you don't, I love the sea. Okay. You could love visiting the sea. You could love traveling to the sea. I wish that I had a beach house. If I lived in a perfect world, I'm moving to somewhere and living on the beach. I want a waterfront house. So it could be just the love of the sea. And I'm going to put the sun with that also, because it could be, I love to sit out in the sun. I love to lay in the sun. If I have a day off, I'm a sun worshiper. So maybe somebody just likes to suntan and hang out on a beach chair. Somebody like that. Okay, so I have these leaves. I'm going to say branches more than leaves, because it was more of a feeling of these branches growing and like a tree growing. And so I think we're going to start to see it grow. I think that, you know, it's kind of like when you buy a house and you plant a tree in the front yard. And all of a sudden, like 5 years later, you're like, oh my God, look at how big this tree has gotten. It's huge. It's like 10 times the size of, when you had planted it. 20 years later, it's this, huge, huge tree in the front of the house. It kind of feels like that, like these branches are just going to grow and, we'll grow together. So that felt nice. Okay. I have 2 owls and they're kind of like matching. And I'm going to say that you're equally as smart as this person and they've met their match because this person is probably pretty bright. They're probably pretty business savvy. They're probably have a lot of experience. So I'm going to say they love how bright you are. I'm going to say that they are attracted to your wisdom. You could have wisdom in a different area. You could have knowledge in different areas of life that they don't think about, or it's not their world, so to speak. But you're very good at those areas and you really do know your stuff. So I feel like they respect that. Okay. It doesn't mean you have to have the same exact knowledge. It just means that you're both bright and you probably challenge each other because of that. Okay. I do have a palm. Okay. So I'm just going to say a prayer. I feel like that's a prayer is coming into me as a prayer. And what is this? No, I feel like it's a heart. I feel like it's some kind of spreading heart. I'm not sure what that is. I feel like this is a ring and a heart, another heart. Okay, I think that you're going to capture this person's heart, and it's going to turn into, here's some keys. I definitely feel like you're going to capture this person's heart. This person's going to open their heart for the first time. This person's going to fall in love for the first time. This person's going to be committed, probably like really committed for the first time. So they're not playing games, Spirit just said. So I do feel like if you were the one that walked into their life and they feel like you're the one, then I feel like there's no looking back from that point, that finally, the person that I've been looking for is here. So there's no looking back. I do have a beautiful flower. Okay, I'm going to put that with the hand. I don't know why. I have Paris. I have Paris and I have the United States. I have a flag. That's how I feel. I'm going to say travel. I don't know if we necessarily live in different countries. I'm not feeling that because I do feel like you're going to meet organically. And I do feel like you're going to spend some time together and be very interested in each other. But I'm going to say travel. I'm going to say, we're young. Somebody sounds like they're pretty successful. Maybe we travel before we settle down. And if you're going to have kids, we want to travel, spend some time together. So maybe we take a couple of years that we're working and then our vacations are that we actually go places. We go to Europe. We go to, see some sites that maybe we think we're not going to see when we get busy in the future, if our plan is to have a family. So that could be going on for some of you. If you're on the other end of the spectrum, it could be, now's a good time for us to travel. The kids are grown. We're healthy. We have somebody to travel with. Spirit, when? Any clues about when? I have January. Okay, could be a birthday month. I have May. I have unexpectedly. Yeah, this is going to be a very organic connection. And I have in the next 1 to 2 months. Okay, so that's exciting. We'll take that. That's not that far away. Bottom of my deck is very soon. Is this person ready to move into, if you've met this person, then it's hopefully some of these things are making sense to you and you're connecting to them. But if this person is falling in love, then again, it's this in love for the first time energy when the right one comes along. So if they feel like you're the right one, then they're going to be all in. I mean, no doubt about it. This isn't, they're not going to play games. They're not going to go back and forth. They're not going to be on again, off again. Like that's, they're just waiting for the right one. Spirit, please share with me. What is it that you have? Loving messages. I can see a future with you. I think they start feeling that way right from the beginning. I feel like they start to forecast a future with you. You're the type of person I could see myself with. Fate, destiny, stars aligning is my story. This person believes that if we're meant to be, we will find each other. Spirit will put us together. They believe in an organic connection. So that is exactly what they are waiting for, is for fate to align us. You make me happy. That's how we fall in love. We fall in love with the person who makes us happy. I've never felt this way before. I feel like you're both going to feel that way. I feel that even if you've been in love before and you have had a heartbreak, there's something very special and genuine about this connection. And I feel like you look at each other and say, I can't believe how in love I am with you. And I feel like it's really mutual. So that is gorgeous. I want to thank Spirit for these messages today. How wonderful. If you are new to my channel, please remember to hit that like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Please comment below. I would love to hear your stories. I love to get the feedback. If anyone would like to book a private reading, check out my website at kathymamolenspsychicmedium.com. Also check out my other 2 YouTube channels, my Pick a Card channel and my Twin Flame Soulmate channel for some additional readings that might not be on this channel. So they're definitely different readings. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I want you to have a great July, and I will see you again real soon in another Love Messages.